Never have I ever had to brace myself before watching an anime because, I mean, just look at this. It feels like it's purposefully assaulting my eyes. What the hell is the camera doing in this scene? Why are we taking the perspective of a worm about to get stepped on? Why is there an explosion of so many colors here and we're just like a few minutes in? All of these things are weird on their own, but then you come to the realization that this is an adaptation of The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. The manga is simple, it is fluff, it's something that you can sit down and enjoy at any time. Its main draw isn't in some abstract artwork or some stylistic differences that other manga don't have. If anything, it's normal. As normal, and I will say this in the best way possible, as boring as you can kind of get. It's very simplistic because it only has one goal in mind, and that's to drive home that feeling of fluff. It wants your heart to just feel 10 times warmer after you walk away from reading any of its chapters. This anime looks to just say, hey, fuck that. We're gonna do our own thing. And when looking at the studio that created this, it's Studio GoHands. So if you look at some of their work, it's like, okay, that's actually pretty good. But then you come and see that they're not basing it off of that. They're basing this off of something else, like handshakers. Something that also shares this very alarming artistic choice. A choice that honestly doesn't have any footing here whatsoever. To me, it looks like Studio GoHands just decided to say, hey, fuck it, let's do something completely different here. Let's reinvent the wheel. And then this came out, a steaming pile of just trash. The first few minutes of the first episode are just completely atrocious. There's literally no other way for me to describe it because a few minutes in, I had to take a break and step away from the screen because it was moving too much. They really grabbed the phrase fluid animation and really took it to heart. There's movement in every single shot in this. So much so that I think that if you pay close enough attention to this, you'll probably get motion sickness. Yeah, it's pretty bad because given just how choice these camera angles are, it really doesn't help out with how frantic the camera's moving. And this isn't something that's just with the camera angles. The characters also face this issue too. I've been seeing online that some people have been going like, hey, is this series rotoscoped? There is something going on with it. But honestly, if there was a human being that walked this way, I'd honestly think that all of their lower half was completely broken. Yeah, I don't really know what the hell's going on here. And I can clearly say something that if this was by itself, some new anime project, some new story, I could probably say that just on its own merits, it looks good. It looks decent. If the shots were more stable, I could probably say that this is one of the better looking rom-coms out there right now. The shading is very original, and you can tell that the animators have actual skill here. It's just that they have no sense of taste whatsoever. It's like there was no one on staff to dictate how the aesthetics were supposed to look. There was no one that read the manga beforehand and said, hey, the vibe in this is completely different than what we're doing. Maybe we can lean a little bit more into that to actually play to its strengths. And so they didn't really do that at all. If you look at the backgrounds in this, they're mainly using like 3D animation. And when looking at specific details like the grass, you can tell that it's not even the good kind of 3D animation. An anime that I can say that I love that used a solid combination of 2D and 3D backgrounds is Monogatari. But it worked and paid off so well in that series because of how convoluted everything is. It's so complex that of course a rich background, a rich setting is gonna enhance the story altogether. It actually matches with the vibe and it doesn't clash as drastically as it does here. Because here, the story after the first couple minutes or so continues to be almost exactly as you remember it. It's just that they add so much unnecessary shit to this that it just distracts from everything else. It's like if you go up to one of your friends and you just say, hey, how's your day been? And before they answer, they do a triple backflip to a somersault and they land right in front of you just to say, well, you know, okay. There's no need for it at all. But they decided to do it because they think it's cool. Now, if your friend did that shit, I'd be fucking baffled. My jaw would be on the floor. But in this case, again, I'm just kind of disappointed. Studio GoHands is really trying to make this look as impressive as they can, even if they did tone down the visuals slightly after the first few minutes in the first episode. But I think they're gonna intend to do this more. They're using this series as like a showcase for what their animators can do. And that feeling is exemplified no better than in the OP. Because that just looks like a collage of their best, most technologically impressive scenes. I think Studio GoHands is really forgetting about the fluff, everything that the fans want to see, and just really putting their efforts to just the unnecessary shit. I would honestly take a godly story with shit animation any day of the week. But here, I just think they are sorely missing the point. And that's a crime because I absolutely adore the source material. The manga is fantastic, it's stellar. I made a video about this series before and how I think it's solid in its own way, and honestly, I think this just takes away from my enjoyment of it. My only hope is that maybe if this series actually does gain enough traction, maybe after like the first season, Studio GoHands lets go of this series and lets another studio take a crack at it. I would think honestly that'd probably be for the best. But with this, I think that just finishes off my rant for the series. I don't think I'm gonna keep up with it. I honestly can't. I honestly don't think I can look at a screen if my eyes are gonna be covered in blood, so you know. So, as always, I was Bayfond, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.